Solo Cash Cups return this weekend, yet we actually already have a Solo Cup as the PlayStation Finals have already finished, which is the game we're watching right now. So I want to talk through and look into what the Solo meta is actually looking like in, I was going to say in 2026, in Season 3. All right, so this tournament firstly was before this patch. So yesterday, as of recording this, they made a couple changes. So this tournament that we're watching is going to be slightly outdated, so you got to keep this in mind, which we'll go through. The 7 sliders have been buffed. Basically, they take longer to overheat. You can use them for more in one hit. The Chaos Reloader is gone. Woohoo! The Warforged Assault Rifle has been unvaulted and has a tighter recoil and less damage spray. I'll need to see this one. I'm going to do a little test in a second. Later on, we'll look through some of the stats, see if it's actually worth using it. I haven't used it much to try it. Exploder Rifle has been removed. The Chaos Exploder Rifle does less damage up close, but is no longer has any damage drop off, so you can use it at further range for Surge. Again, we will compare these two weapons, the worst underline of all time there. And I think that's the main thing that actually matters. Yeah, that's the main thing that actually matters to this. So when we're looking through this tournament, we'll talk about some of the loot pool changes at the same time. All right, so first up, what are people carrying? So Ricky Spams wins this game. And looking at the inventory, Double Chug, yet again, still super overpowered. Rubbish Shotgun, which is very interesting. I'll have a look at like what the actual strat was in a second. I want to just kind of spam through people. Obviously, the Kuramas you played in the Chaos, it was no longer in. 3 people with a pistol, Stinger, Nades, Boots, pistol. What is this loadout? What is bro cooking with this loadout? Pistol, SMG. So almost no one was carrying, no really there, was carrying an AR. Almost everyone here is carrying a pistol and nades. So pistol, nades, and pump, basically, to start with. Obviously, some people are carrying SMGs, like Stinger is incredibly good as well. In Endgame in particular, the Stinger was absolutely insane. But for the most part, most people are carrying pistol. And the fact that Malabuka's carrying this shotgun as well, what's he cooking? Yeah, this is basically like the most standard loadout. Pistol, pump, double heals. Of course, you might not get double chugs, and then also, you know, nades. Most people are not carrying the boots, even though they have been buffed. Surprisingly, no one's carrying the mythic boots now that I scroll through here. You know, we've got some people. I want to see how some of these players actually end up rotating with the boots in endgame. We'll check that in a second. However, for the most part, it is still just going to be nades. So yeah, look at the weapon stats. Ranger pistol by far the most. Basically the same as most tournaments, to be honest. Stinger second, Ranger pistol there. Obviously, Chaos is now gone. Striker pump's there. The Chaos Reloader is probably a little bit better now. Obviously, had a lot of damage to builds because you just spam at it. But for the most part, Ranger pistol is still the meta. I will look quickly at the other tournament though. So quickly just looking, this is the performance eval. So this is duos. It was on last night post all of these nerfs, or sorry, the patch notes, whatever the hell you want to call it. Ranger pistol was still the most used. Obviously this is duos, so it's like a different. Strike pump obviously is going to be the best. Warforged AR is actually third, and the Chaos Exploder was way down actually. So in terms of assault rifles, Warforged assault rifle is being used more. Surgical, like twice as much basically as the burst. You can see pickups wise, it has like double the amount of pickups. Most people still carrying the Ranger pistol. So for solos in particular, Ranger pistol is still going to be the meta. Ranger pistol, striker pump. And it's not really that much of a surprise. When you look at the pistol, it's on the right here. Damage per second, 189 in comparison to 172. This is both in blue rarity, by the way. Most of the stats are better. Single pistol shot deals more damage than the AR. Headshot is a 2x multiplier, so way more. Structure damage is higher, of course, because the fire rate is slightly lower, so you're going to get more bleed through damage with the Warforged. But it still feels like you're getting a pretty good bleed through with this pistol anyway. Clip size is much smaller, of course, so you can kind of spam for a lot longer with the Warforged. But the reload time is literally 1 second in comparison to 3. Obviously much better. And when you scroll down here, of course, like all of the ADS and all of sorry, not ADS, all of the accuracy, so with spread and things, it's just so much of a more accurate gun that of course it's just much easier to hit a lot of shots with. In terms of damage at range as well, you can see the bullet drop off here isn't entirely all that different. So at 100 meters, I've clicked the wrong thing here. You know, 25 damage with the pistol is actually better. I mean, damage with the pistol is just still better at range per shot. So basically it seems like the pistol is better in almost every single way than the Warforged. But if you're in duos, obviously it was a solo video. If you're in duos, probably one player with a Warforged, one player with the pistol. Seems to be the meta. But again, in solos, take the pistol. Every single season, Costanrock is doing something weird, bro. I'm not going to look at it into this video, what his strat is, because I'll let him have the strat for a bit. Let him play and do his thing. I don't want to just leak all his strats straight away. I just saw him in this lobby and I clicked on it, and this is what he's cooking up. All right, so Ricky won this game. So there's one thing I want to see. He immediately gets a chug jug. I don't know if this is just really good RNG or not, but no, it's not. I've done a short on this already, and there's a lot of beds and couches that give insane gold. It's not that one. I think it is in this building, or it could be in the one next to it. I can't remember. No, he just gets a chug jug, of course. Right. Oh yeah, he's already got infinite gold. So it already says infinite. It didn't show up there. So that means he got over 1,000 gold in replay mode. So there's a bunch of beds that you can get, which give you between 500 and 1,500 gold. That's basically a guaranteed chug jug. But here's the actual map of those. Shout out to Crusade Spades, who sent me this on Twitter. I added a few of them. There's ones in the Sinister that he missed, I think. That was the ones. But you can kind of see they're relatively spread out across the map. Right here where they're landing, there's tons in this drop spot. He got the one that was in this corner, and I think they're like 100% spawn rate. So basically in any one of these drops, if you land here... Oh, maybe this is why so many people are landing here. I just realized there's 10 of them there. That's insane. So yeah, if you land at any one of these spots, you can basically get guaranteed like thousands of gold and then just buy the best loot from literally any vending machine. All right, so basically I don't know how much gold he has right now, but it seems like a lot. He's basically gone and just farmed max mats. He's gone and farmed out now, of course, are all around the vending machines and the vending machines. He bought nades from there, which aren't 100% spawn rate. Bought another chug jug. What else are we getting? And an extra big, of course, to heal up, I guess. And that maybe appears to be it. I guess you don't need to obviously use all of the gold off the rip. You can go to other ones if you need to be, but you can also buy ammo. I think that's what he's going to buy here, if I'm correct. If he's smart, you should buy ammo up to cap max so you can just spam everyone in endgame. He's taking his time. Yes, ammo. Okay. So it costs like 100 gold for 100 mini ammo. So of course, with the pistol being meta already, you can buy 300 gold's worth. You basically get yourself 300 ammo. So, you know, that's 3 or 4 chests you've opened. And now all of a sudden you have the most spammable ammo in endgame. I would highly recommend in every single tournament you do, if you have a little bit of extra gold left and you can't buy like a chug jug, a big or whatever it is, make sure you have capped ammo because everyone could be so stupid in endgame. I would be shocked if every single player by like Div Cup finals or FNCS Grands in like 6th or 7th zone didn't have literally capped ammo, which means you could just spam at anyone near you, which is kind of awful and very annoying, I'll be honest, especially with the SMGs. So very classic. He's basically just boxed up, absolutely dead center zone on a brick so you can reharvest all those materials back. So yeah, second zone, this is him right here, absolutely dead center. One of the things I have discussed if you watched a lot of my other videos on this channel already is that, you know, these kind of POIs here, Battlewoods, Frosted Flats, Sinister Strip, anything that's kind of around this middle area generally here is really good for any zone. You can notice, right, the zone pulls southeast, and from his drop spot, it takes almost no effort to get into the center of second zone here, where you can just set up with max mats, right? Like, imagine if he'd been an edge map team, or even like a cluster coast team, right? Somewhere around here, no matter like where the zone pulls, like that's a long rotate to try and get center of second, whereas, you know, for him, 100 steps, maybe that's a little under exaggeration, to get to dead center now is the best chance to pull most zones. So again, these 3 POIs, insanely good. He also doesn't have cap mats. I don't know if he missed wood. I think it was wood or something. You can't see obviously quite yet what the full distribution of them is. Prioritizing positioning over focusing on like, oh, I need to be cap is also very good, you know, because again, this is a net search meta. Get yourself center second, you're just gonna be able to hold anyone. Now you can see third zone pulls, and again, he's in this position here. You know, he's in this kind of what was center second, and now this next zone, as you can see, it's like kissing the edge here. So this is a, you know, a high indicator that it's probably going to pull down further from here. So because he's second, obviously there's people around him, but all of the mass congestions over here, it's also, we've got to remember, this is PlayStation only. So most people don't know how to rotate, so they're going to be stuck along congestion. So if you're center second, he actually has a pretty free rotate to go to the next zone, as you can already see. When he's sitting in the cone, he just scouts ahead, chucks a nade out, and then just starts firing straight towards zone. And sure, like, you might get a little bit of damage tagged here, but this position now, he's already just gone to center of the next zone, right? So well, it's close enough to center. He's basically done one nade from what, here to here. But imagine now all of these players on this edge, they're all going to get stuck along here, and now he's distanced himself from all of that, which means if the zone's going to pull further in this direction as well, then he has to, it's going to be easier for him to rotate and not get like stuck in the wall. He's got zone priority. Unsurprisingly, you look at like more established players, you know, Malabuka, what a surprise, he's also already in like a deep, really good spot. I don't know where he landed. He might just be landed around here, I don't know, but he's already in a good spot, whereas like, you know, you got some more stinky players who are all the way over here. No offense if you're a stinky player. No offense. All right, fourth zone, again, as I said, it pulls this way. Kind of easy to predict based on the way that it looked before. Next zone is probably, if my prediction, if I'm reading this, I'm saying next zone is probably not going to pull fifth down here. I actually don't know. I don't know this map enough to know if it's going to do that, but purely based on this, because it's quite close to the edge, he's already situated around here. He doesn't need to go far. A good position on this zone would be somewhere around here. Like, this is a good hill to get onto, because if the zone pulls further down this way, he's fine, and if it pulls back, he's okay. He has good rotates. It's probably not going to pull, I might pull this way. It's probably not going to be down here, or maybe down here. So from this position here, he might be all right to basically rotate to any of these. So let's see what he ends up doing. This is a good time to get tags, actually, because everyone's going to rotate, of course, into him. He gets a little. Unfortunately, damage in replays, for some reason, is just not working right now. So it's just completely invisible. You can't see how much damage anyone has dealt. He has done some there. I don't know exactly how much, though. So it's seeming like he's going to stay here, which is fine. You just do risk the further rotates being kind of bad. He's basically playing on like zone pulling back here, but he can also get a lot of damage here, right? He really probably needs like 200-300. If he'd gone up a layer, this probably would have been a little bit better rather than just being down on low ground here, but it's pretty material efficient. Him being 300 above makes me think he's probably only got got like 150 damage because he did get tagged for like, what, 60, 75 right off the rip. So he's probably only dealt like 150, 200. So if he gets absolutely beamed on a max rotate, could be kind of rough for him after this, but still a good position because remember, all these players are going to rotate into him. If I was him, I would go up a layer and then he's got a little bit more visibility. So then he doesn't have to like have these awkward peaks. All right, fourth zone is about to close. As you can see, similarly, now he's got stuck with all this congestion. So, you know, had he actually gone deeper here, he probably wouldn't have got tagged at all. However, you know, he would be in a really, really good spot in amongst. You could have still looked back and got. He probably wouldn't have got as much surge damage there, though. But he's kind of just playing on the zone RNG. If he pulls it, it's going to be chilling, which he does not. So now he has a much more difficult rotate, right? Again, imagine the position that we mentioned if he came here or even done what he did in the previous zones, got slightly deeper. He probably still would have had the good visibility, but we would have such an easy rotate here. Also down here as well. Let's see how he ends up making this. Insta rotate. Very good. Still wasn't a bad zone for him. Ended up being all right. And I love the Tarzan strat, as we call it here. Wood box on some trees. Scout. Gives him opportunity to go. He's just insta rotating. This is actually the world's first recorded insta not stupid rotate by someone on console. Shout out to Ricky. Gets in, timed it absolutely beautifully. Doesn't take a single lick of damage and manages to get in here. And he's also not being greedy, right? He's got a good amount of surge, but there's a bunch of players rotating and he's not just like spamming them, which is kind of surprising. Again, it is console, so Ricky might actually be the world's smartest console player. Now he's got a nice box out. He waited for the metal to heal up before editing, which I actually really like, and now he's gone out the cone, got some wood all up above him. Now everyone late rotating in. This is one of the reasons why like just late rotating is just so bad in general. I guess on console, if you make an early rotate, like you're because everyone's gonna rotate late after you, you just have the freest damage and surge ever. And because no one's going early, let's be honest. They're not making the sky scroll, hold the wall edits, rotates. And this is what I mean, like this kind of scenario where he bought infinite ammo is so good now, because in any of these like zones where players are getting close to you, whatever it is, if you need surge, you can just sit and spam at someone for as long as you want. Like Ricky can literally sit here and just use like 250 ammo on the other player if he needed to. He's not, but he could if he needed to. And if he had like 100 ammo, it would be significantly worse. So I definitely think buying ammo from vending machines is the play. Now the next zone's popped up and it's right next to him, which is very, very nice again. Again, had he pulled like any other zone from here, it wouldn't have been too bad. Like the zone's not going to pull over this way. Look at Noah with a little goated dead side here. You know, had he pulled any of these, it's not going to go this way because it's all to the water. Again, I don't exactly actually know on this map where like the edges are going to be. So, you know, if zone pulls here, it's still not that far. With it just going slightly north of him, like he's just got a little rotate in, so this positioning wasn't too bad at all. If I was him here, I think the play here is just to nade and try and get into, you know, somewhere around this area here. He's currently, where is he? If I press 4, I'll be able to see him. He's, yeah, where is he actually? Yeah, there he is. He's not quite in yet still. He's still got a little bit to rotate to down here. One nade can kind of get him into a little dead side spot here, which means if the zone pulls up north, he can just hit another nade later on. Zone's opening up. He's scouting. Cone's open. He's waiting for a timing. He does exactly what we just said. Doesn't actually end up going super deep in, though. He just ends up kind of sitting in. I think this is fine. It's not greedy, right? Like, the ideal is getting slightly deeper in here, but this is also a good spot because if you notice, it's up on a hill, too. Not really up on a hill. I apparently entirely lied. He's up here in this spot. He's got angles on everyone. The rotates are still relatively free this way if he needs to go there later on or pulls towards dead side this way. You can nade that way, too. So it's not a bad spot. Sometimes, honestly, like, you just don't want to overcommit all the way deep. Like, I swear a lot of the games, I'll try and get myself into, like, the best dead side spot and then just get lobby focused or just waste a ton of mats doing it. Sometimes the best rotate is just one you could do in one nade and then just box up, which is basically what he's done in every single rotate so far. Pulled a very good zone next to him. 7th zone is basically bang on him, so doesn't really need to do much. I mean, the fact that he's made every rotate and not got tagged once is insane because he's still got both of his chug jugs left, right? He's still capped on both of them. So his rotates have obviously been insanely good to this point. He has obviously used a lot of mats, like 77 builds. If you just kind of scroll through, there's a few people who have more, but honestly, he's still like pretty healthy material-wise in comparison to the vast majority of players in this lobby. And I guess a lot of the players who have cap mats have probably also got like an elim or a refresh somewhere where they've just managed to get theirs. So he's played this pretty efficiently so far. This is a really lovely rotate. Now he's scouted, and as you notice, there's a lot blocking him. Zone pulls took this direction over here, and his box above him, there's a player, so he can't just like run out of here. There's a bunch of cones here that he doesn't really know if there's any players in whatsoever. So he's kind of questioning, how do I rotate this? Where do I go from here? What do I do? And zone opens up to this side, so he opens up into the storm, runs out, it blocks off the angles in case there is anyone in those cones. It's the nade, flies all the way to front side, and then just builds a single box. Again, the trend has been true for every single rotate that he's done so far throughout this game is just him doing a single box. Like, he's been really efficient on every single rotate. He's not making like a ton of tarts. He's not like spamming builds every time. He's just doing a nade, sitting in a single box, and then repeating. Now he's waiting for zone to catch up, basically waiting for him to get to backside. He's always scouting on basically every single rotate. And this is actually one of the things you see a lot of, I mean, successful players do in any single tournament, no matter what it is. He's gotten himself onto a nice high layer with that next nade then. I think this is just going to be a free height claim from here too. He's not overcommitting to it. As soon as he heard the nade there, really nice, just to immediately cover his head. Because a lot of times you don't know where players are flying, right? Like someone nades up, you don't know what's happening. And just covering your head immediately is a good sign because you don't get pumped and chunked, especially with like striker being really, really strong. Man, Ricky makes some real nice rotations. I must say that, right? He's spamming. He's starting to get to the backside of zone now. He's got some good damage onto Alba. Hits the reload. And now it's kind of an awkward rotate for him. If you kind of zoom up here, we'll notice. How would you get past? I feel like I would have just naded front side and just hope for the best. Does he even have a nade? I don't think he has a nade anymore. Yeah, no, he doesn't. So he goes out his right here. He scouts and then runs under height. So you can see all the way under, blocks his back, and then just jumps up a tile here. So really efficient to like just sprint under all of the old builds. He's still had like 20, 30 builds. So a lot of players maybe would have tarped. They would have just jumped out, but he chose like a really nice path to get frontside there. Again, height was free. He's been playing really high layers this entire time, so he literally just builds up and claims it from there. A lot of players do this when they have low mats, right? Like he had 20 builds or whatever. But that's because he can oh my god, I can't speak. This can keep him alive for a little bit longer. Because of course you can use less mats staying alive on height if there's no one there rather than like trying to tarp down below. It's good. He's also not being greedy at all. He gets a little elim here from on height where the player goes to the front side. I might have skipped a little bit too far back here. We'll see. Uses last couple builds. Well, not last. Still got a few left. Player goes front. Gets a nice kill. And he starts to jump down onto the left, but someone nabs it, so he doesn't like just jump down straight forward. He still takes his time, keeps himself up on height. And he just plays some of the chug jugs. So of course, the mending machine chug jugs that you got earlier keeps him alive on height in storm. Probably could drop down, but I'm not questioning Ricky's rotates anymore. He's been making them absolutely fantastic. Crouches now with his shotgun. I mean, this shotgun is some cheeks, so he's not got a huge amount of refresh potential. Honestly, I mean, he didn't find a striker earlier on, or a chaos, of course, because the chaos was still in this. So he's just playing out. Remember, this is not a victory format, so he's not playing to win the match, even though he does. Spoiler, of course. Now he's in the backside. I want to see if he can actually get a kill with his shotgun. I think I've got one kill with his shotgun the entire time. Good. He found another chug jug. Wow, that's lucky. Okay. And he gets some siphon match from that too. And he got this mythic pump. Oh my god, I didn't even notice he managed to pick up the mythic pump there too. And we're seeing nothing from that shotgun, of course. I don't know how he's just found the mythic, but we take that. I love how material efficient he is here too, right? He has 3 builds, blocks his right with his wall. Cohen's here and then doesn't edit. So he's got a little place to like scout from that's just still fully protected. Super little small things like this that are just so nice that a lot of like players who'd be panicking in this scenario would not do. Top 8, he's just lurking. This pump hits for like 230 or something. Notices his top's open, jumps down, does not one pump him. Manages to get the mats. Every time that happens to me, I end up not getting the mats out of it. Nice little side jump. Creates himself some space away from all the mental players on low ground who are jumping at him. Love how he's continually scouting at height. And their jump back was so nice. Max onto Khan. Siphon mats again. Basically, everyone has no builds at this point. Jumps in. Ooh, minimum. Nice little jump to the side. Doesn't hit the max. Whew. And then the bang. Very nicely played. Very nicely played. I was just watching the first game from this and then realized he just got absolutely packed in for 4 more games in a row. Oh, well. Either way, he played the meta really, really well. Lots of good tips. Vending machine, most importantly, in particular for ammo. That stuff is crazy. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. Lots more coming from the solo cash cups, the div cups, of course. Peace.